And this is going to be one of the best podcasts of the year. I was hyped. I was going to save it for work. It was going to get me through the whole day, this podcast. And I think, my opinion is that Tim, he mishandled it. You know, he fumbled the ball on that one.
Out of money that you have, and to come in here, I feel like it's a setup to be like defending. I'm not gonna go through another, like I'm literally gonna walk the F off the show if I'm sitting up here having a, talk about, you can't say that it was Jewish people that did it.
Impact of certain drugs that are not everyday things. So we looked at a drug called modafinil, which was for narcoleptics. So if you give a soldier this drug, how long could they stay awake for without having any health detriment?
I'll take a little bit of that back, but still, let the man talk, man. It's not you saying it. Just say, hey, I'm not responsible for whatever goes on. Just let him talk. It's freaking kind. Once again, let him say what he gotta say, man.
He said he won't say what race. Won't say what race, okay? As long as you say that, you're good.
He wanted to say it. You struggled to not say it.
For the interruption.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's topic, we got the Tim Pool show. All right, man. I was really looking forward to this one. I seen it pop up. You got Kanye, you got Milo Yiannopoulos, you got what's that kid's name? Nick Fuentes. And I'm just thinking to myself, man, this is going to be one of the best podcasts of the year. I was hyped. I was going to save it for work. It was going to get me through the whole day, this podcast. And I think, my opinion is that Tim, he mishandled it. He fumbled the ball on that one. Kanye told him, he said, look, man, you're not going to give me the Lex Friedman treatment. I'll walk right off this podcast if you start that. You know what I want to say. I want to talk about these Jews, and I don't want to hear you telling me that it ain't this, and I can't call them that, and I can't call these people out. I'm not doing that. And Tim just, I don't know, man. Kanye, he just wasn't having it, and he walked off the show. Like I said, Tim, he fumbled that one. I know, Andrew, you said you watched it. Do you think Kanye was in the wrong, or do you think it was Tim handled it?
No, I think he mishandled the situation for sure.
Tim Pool?
I'm sorry?
Tim Pool?
Yeah. But that's just my opinion. What do I know to this? This is my opinion as the viewer of the video.
Yeah.
I think Kanye should understand that a conversation goes both ways. I understand what he was there for, and he made it very clear, which I respect of him, right? And that conversation could have still be held. Like, they could have held that conversation very well. I thought they would, and it's 2 hours long, so I was looking forward to it. I'm like, okay, that means we getting a full the full idea of what Kanye is trying to put out there, okay?
Yeah.
I was hoping they would allow Kanye to actually explain himself, like speak and explain what he's talking about. I was looking forward to it. He ended up walking out. I didn't see in the title Kanye walks out at the beginning of the interview or whatever. So I'm like, okay, let's go for it. Now, like I said before, a conversation goes both ways, and if you go to somebody's platform, that person you are going to, you should expect for them to have something to say, an opinion. You should expect for them to want to also express themselves. You are not just there.
Okay.
For that, just go sit by yourself. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I understand what you're saying, but you got Kanye here, okay? You got Kanye.
Yeah.
People didn't come here to hear you. They came here to hear Kanye. And I don't need.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't need Tim giving me these standard. You can't call them Jews. Look, I already know what he's gonna say. You already know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say the same thing Lex said, the same thing Piers Morgan says. Like, look, I don't need to hear that. Just let the man talk.
Hmm. Yeah, I wish he would have let him just like go off and be okay. You have any questions? Go for it. He kept interrupting him, kept telling him, no, but you not this is not right and that's not right. Maybe I would have done the same. So I cannot criticize something because I, for example, if it was me and I had questions, I want to ask my questions as well because I like talking. And when I say talking, it's not like, oh, I like to hear myself talk or anything like that. I like to ask or speak on what's on my mind, what is going through my brain, my thought process or whatever. I like to really get a good understanding. Like Negayan knows, we talk a lot. When me and Negayan talk, I asked him 300 questions about one subject. And I'm like, yo, my bad. I asked so many questions, but I just truly want to understand what we are talking about. So I always ask to clarify. But the thing is, like, so let the man express himself.
The
Don't like,
issue is that he didn't want him to because, well, you're not allowed to say this about Jews. Even though all these people who are doing this to you, they're Jews, you're not allowed to say that they're Jews.
but what is Kanye going viral for? For like, what has he been viral for? As in, like, the last month, 2 months?
Saying Jews?
You already know. You already know what he has to say,
Yeah.
and you know in which line he has to say it. You know what I mean? Like, how are you acting surprised? How do you act like uncomfortable with the conversation when you already know what he went there for? He was clear. It wasn't a surprise. It's not like he switched on you. Since the beginning, he told them what he was there for, and he also told them like, "Let me talk. Let me express myself."
Yeah.
He
I got
didn't do that. That's how I believe he uh how can I say this? That's how I think he dropped the ball.
yeah,
What's his name?
Tim Pool.
Yeah, him. Um, but I props to him. He actually got Kanye to go over there and
Yeah.
initiate a
Yeah, 20
conversation,
minutes.
man. That's a lot compared to where we at currently. That's a lot.
Nagayan, I got a bookmark. I'll show you like right before he walked off, so you get to see a little bit of this. This little plug-in pretty cool here.
Contractor, we won't say what race, and they'd be tearing down the contracts. It's all about position. I would work on homeless shelters and ideas. I'd have a contractor, we won't say what race, and they'd be tearing down the contracts. It's all about position. It's not about the amount of money that you have. And to come in here, I feel like it's a setup to be like defending. I'm not gonna go through another, like, I'm literally gonna walk the F off the show if I'm sitting up here having a talk about, you can't say that it was Jewish people that did it, when every sensible person knows that. I mean, Jon Stewart knows what happened to me, and they took it too far. It was like American History X. Like, my head was on the side of the curve, and the exact people that I called out kicked my head. We found out that my trainer was a MK Ultra Canadian intelligence.
He worked in the defense research and development in the Canadian military, essentially working on psyops.
Who's this
in the
guy?
Canadian military. This is Harley Pasternak.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, look,
You heard about him. I had found a little interview that he had did, giving a little background about this guy. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Okay, now it's acting up.
When you say drugs, are that like performance enhancing drugs, or are they
all
just
kinds of drugs.
Oh, right. Okay.
So working for the military, I wasn't governed by the same laws that the typical person was. So I could look at the impact of certain drugs that are not everyday things. So we looked at a drug called modafinil, which was for narcoleptics. So if you give a soldier this drug, how long could they stay awake for without having any health detriment?
Is that used now as a...
So Nagan, you said you heard about this guy before. What you hear about him? Just like heard his name or something? Or?
And that name sounds familiar, but was he like a trainer for popular people?
A whole bunch of them. Like he's like the main trainer. And what I'm thinking is like he's the trainer for a lot of these people, and then and like Kanye isn't the only case of this. Like he's got a history of this, of these people being drugged up or these people being committed. I think he, like Britney Spears, it was the same thing.
Michael Jackson?
No, I don't think, no, not Michael Jackson. But he was also, what's her name? What is her name? Winehouse. I can't think of her first name. What'd you say?
Amy.
Yeah, Amy Winehouse. He was her trainer. Same thing. And this guy, like, that was his expertise, like messing with these drugs, doing all these experiments on these special forces guys. And now I believe he's there to keep these celebrities in check. And that's what Kanye was getting into. And like during the interview, I mean, what really, like, after Kanye walked off, they're saying things like, I don't understand why Kanye is mad. Like the man woke up to like a $50 million tax bill out of nowhere, got his bank accounts getting frozen, his business deals falling through, his kids are being kept from him, and they didn't understand why he was mad or why he's kind of got like a short fuse. It was really irritating, man. That's like one of the, it had like the most anticipation, but ended up being one of the worst podcasts of all time. Maybe because I had, high expectations going in.
Well,
Yeah, what Lito said is you already had Kanye on, so you already can put.
Actually, Milo Yiannopoulos is my favorite. That's who I came there for.
So they have now.
let me ask you a question. Okay, so just to put this in perspective, right? Kanye's been battling with this for weeks, months, years. Okay, he has been misunderstood. His words have been getting twisted, around.
No, it's not twisted. He said, "Hey, there's these group of these Jewish people, and they're running things, and they're out to get me." Nothing getting twisted.
Not just talking for like as in recent, like throughout time, he's been known for saying things that have been like, handled in the wrong way. People always want to make like something out of nothing. I mean, in this case, they're right. He does say a lot. Okay, but like this man has to be emotionally drained. And top of that, all his personal problems, we all have them. Let's stop acting like it's just this guy that's going through this, man. There's every day there's parents who want to go see their kids, and their kids are being used to hurt these parents. Every day we see parents that just because they disagree on something, they use their kids to control the other. Okay, that is also draining. Okay, and like how tired he is. Like I think he would be tired of trying to explain himself or trying to like go somewhere to speak freely, and you don't allow him to do exactly that, and he's letting you know, this is what I'm here to do, this is what I want to do, and you like let him come in, let him sit down, and don't let him do that. I think that's a turn off, is a letdown.
You hear he getting hit up for child support now, right?
Yeah, I don't.
200 grand a month. What you doing with 200 grand a month in child support?
Well, there I go. I actually have that written down because I'm going with that in a minute. But before we even touch that, okay, what I'm trying to say is, like, on top of all these things, this man is suffering, okay? Because I would be in my case. I got 2 kids, and I understand not seeing my kids, and I understand, having limitations towards that. I see why they would want to have Kanye, because it's freaking Kanye in their podcast. But why would Kanye go over there? What you think is in it
That's what
for
I'm
him?
thinking. I was already with that in my head. Like, I mean, why do you have to go to somewhere to actually let yourself be heard? You can go on a live, you can go on whatever platform you want to go. People will just show up
Nah,
because they
Kanye,
find
I don't think so.
platform
I don't know.
itself, he's what was that?
Tim
Go for
Pool is a really big show, man. Like it doesn't look like it.
No, no,
You
I'm
guys
not
probably
saying
aren't
it's not.
familiar. It's a pretty big show.
I'm not saying it's not.
He doesn't need it. In my sense, I don't think Kanye needs that for him to be heard.
That's
Put
what
it
I'm trying to
there
say.
for him to be clear about what he's trying to say. Put it in perspective. Of course, it would be handy if he has someone ask the right questions. That's the only thing that I can imagine.
There you go. Somebody to ask the right questions, somebody to actually listen and try to understand to the best of your ability. Like, not necessarily side with him, but hear him out, man. Because he has something to say. Obviously, he does, right? And like I said, he doesn't need nobody. He's a platform itself. Like Kanye. I mean, people listen to him. He is very influential. Yeah, some people think he's crazy. Some people think he's not that good. Some people think he's overrated. But still has a great following.
He wasn't sounding crazy. Like in that interview, like he seemed like he was even calmer and
I'm talking about people who already have made their mind up.
I know, I'm just talking about that interview. He seemed like he was really calm. Like he was like calmer than usual. Like he was really level-headed.
Exactly. So why not let him talk?
Because he said Jew, and you're not supposed to let people say that.
Just let him talk. That's how he talks. That's how he expresses himself. That's part of him. If you put these limitations, you're not getting Kanye as Kanye. You're not getting. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. But don't put limitations. Just listen. Or are you there to be politically correct at all times? I don't know.
Yeah, well, you have to be, because if you say we all know the Jews don't really got power. So if you say they got power, then you just get shut down. It's not by them; they ain't got power or nothing. It's just you just can't say these things. Okay.
Okay, I see what you're. No, I do.
Reminds me of the Dave Chappelle show.
You gotta also defend your interests. Like what's good for you. You gotta look out for what's good for you. I get that. Well, yeah, that is a tough one because like you don't want. The other guy said he got deplatformed. I'm sure it's because of something he said. So I get it. I'll take a little bit of that back, but still, let the man talk, man. It's not you saying it. Just say, hey, I'm not responsible for whatever goes on. Just let him talk. It's freaking Kanye. Once again, let him say what he gotta say, man.
He said he won't say what race. He won't say what race. Okay. As long as you say that, you got.
He wanted to say it. He struggled to not say it. He got mad about not being able to say it.
I think this man. I'll give you my opinion about Kanye. I don't think he's crazy at all. I think he is somebody who is not afraid of thinking differently outside of the box, and he is creating his own way, or his own. He's embracing his own universe. And I'll explain.
Not okay.
It's a good way to put it. I get you.
Yeah, in my country, there's a saying in Spanish: "Cada cabeza un mundo." Every head is a whole different world. Okay, and he's not afraid to embrace his, and by thinking differently, he's been able to do and to do more. And I think every time you start doing something and people start liking it, that's embracing what you're doing, and then you get the idea of like, yeah, I'm gonna go in this direction. And I think he ended up finding his direction, and he's very clear of his direction. But this is a new path, so he does not has the answer for everything. He does not have the solution for everything. he's just walking through something, and by just cutting through that horizon of what every day is to the normal person, he has seen like beyond that point, and he's exploring that. I don't know if that makes sense, like what I'm trying to say.
I,
Does that
but
make sense?
yes, it makes sense. But then I say I keep, I won't say wasting time and energy on trying to convince the world on your perspective and your vision and how you see it. If the people want to listen, they will listen. If want to hear you out, they will hear you out. You don't have to
But,
scream and shout
but
and keep on uh, yelling on any
it's
show that you get onto about your perspective.
it's frustrating because like I tell people that surround me all the time. I try to tell them this more, this more, this more. It's not just like go on the week. Like people like to like wake up freaking late. I do it all the time too, But we wake up freaking late. We get dressed for work. We come back from work, have a few drinks, and repeat. There's so much more. We are acting as in like we have this hamster like society that always like walk in the same circle. And me telling people, hey, don't behave in this way and don't act in this way. There's so much more you can give and do for yourself and learn and all these things. Nigga, and you've been here with me and we tried it, right? And that didn't work out. We came off as weird and crazy, man. I don't think I'm weird. I don't think I'm crazy. But it's just people are so stuck in their everyday routine that when you try to like, you know,
Snap
say
them out
something, it, it's just
from other
weird.
perspective.
Yeah, and then like imagine years of trying to do that. Just imagine years of you knowing that you think so much different. Imagine years of knowing that everybody that surrounds you, you feel like they're wasting their time because they could be doing more. That's frustrating. I mean, I get frustrated when people don't understand. Like after years, I told you the same thing, and after years you still not understanding it, or after like a year, 2 years, 3 years, you finally understand what I told you 3 years ago, then I have already moved on from that point. So why are we even talking about it? You understand?
Yeah,
So
I understand, but at the same time, was that you say 3 years, you keep on going, or doesn't matter how long, or you meet someone once, you just share your perspective on your world, on your universe, to put it like that. Isn't that enough to keep repeating the same message that you know and that you actually come across? Of course, petition helps.
mhm.
At the same time, it will click when it will click.
Is that what you're trying to say? Like if it doesn't work out, just let it go, let it be.
Not per se, but you just provide your perspective. I'm there if you need me. If you have questions, let me know. But if you don't, then yeah, we keep on.
Yeah, but like it's frustrating. And let me just say this, and I'll leave it alone, man. But this is the thing. I tell you the same thing over and over again, and it's because I care for you and I want you to know better. And then the thing is, like, I know what I'm telling you is true, and I think the reason why certain people, I won't say who, have a certain issue with him. I won't say what the issue. It's because they also know what he's trying to say. I think they know what he's trying to do, and I think it's not convenient for them, for him to actually make others understand what he's trying to say or his point of view or what he's trying to give us. I don't think it's convenient for the general population to understand. Understanding is the problem, not per se what he says, but what they could understand from it and what could come from that is the issue.
Yeah.
This is just me speaking,
His
right?
message. His message.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, his
for-
message that there's a secret cabal of Jews that are feeding off of all of us. Yes.
Don't do that. They
They're gonna cut us. They're gonna. We're not even there yet.
I won't say yeah, nothing, man.
But
It's so easy for them to put their friggin', like covers us. Like we know where, but who's better than a friggin' Billy to do this? I mean, like seriously, think about it. Like somebody who doesn't need anybody, and that's not convenient for them. It's not convenient.
Well, he already explained it. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire because they control the banks, so they can just say, "Hey, we're not banking with you."
Yeah, but no. Like, okay, so if I'm a bum off the street and I'm like, hey guys, listen, they tripping. Like, that's not. They're gonna be like, oh, let's do.
that's what I've been thinking all this time, but nobody's listening. That's what they will say.
Yeah, but
That's not why I be wearing these aluminum foil tin hats because with
yeah,
the weight being
but
50 miles.
imagine this guy who is powerful. Like he said, the girl he wanted, he went for, he got her. Yeah, didn't stay that way or whatever. Issues happens. After you get something, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know if that's gonna fill your void, like that emptiness inside of you. Once you like, let's say every time you buy a new part for your computer, Ed, or Nagayan, you like what do you like? Sneakers?
Motorbikes, like soccer.
Yeah, let's say your favorite soccer team shirt. You like, oh, I need to get this new 2022 shirt for my team and support and this and that. Once you get that, you feel that happiness for a little bit, and then it's back to feeling empty if that's the case. And let's say he got this girl that he always thought he wanted, and it wasn't what he thought it was gonna be. Then you're gonna lose her because it's not is no longer filling you up.
But
Okay.
that's a good point. What you're saying there with the void that you need. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody has a sense of that emptiness or loneliness, or I don't know how you want to call it, a void,
Yeah.
which is
But
where we
imagine
see.
at the scale that this guy is able to fill that what we understand as a void. I mean, sneakers. I'm making sneakers. Music. I make like some of the best music out there. Oh, the prettiest girl. I got one of the prettiest girls, like the high of everything. He's
What, Kim
accomplished.
Kardashian?
Yeah, he's telling you.
Kim Kardashian?
Yeah,
I don't
but
like Kim Kardashian personally, but it's where everybody like in general holds up. I don't like a mom. I
Really?
don't like not that I don't like I don't like what they stand for. In my opinion, they stand for nothing.
Ain't no woman with a ton of plastic surgery. I'm gonna say that she's beautiful. I can't do that.
But that's
Like,
you and that's me. If you go outside and start asking people, how many people are gonna say no?
I hear you. I hear you.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, yeah, you and me think like this, right? But let's face it. I mean, if we go by numbers, numbers don't lie, and most likely you're gonna get like out of every 100, you're gonna get two or three that's gonna be like, nah. But if Kim Kardashian is standing right next to them, they're gonna be like, no, most beautiful girl in the world. Let's go. I got it. It's just how it is, man. But I don't think this dude is crazy at all, man. We should actually listen, and of course, don't let him guide your thought, but do receive it, receive what he is saying, and try to understand, try to analyze what's going on, man. And if you don't do that, then you're wasting your time, in my opinion, and I'll leave it alone.
All right. Tim Pool dropped the ball. Nagayan, you got anything? All right.
that's
Unidentified Podcast.
it. See you on the next.